describe the appalling nature of the abuse the child victims suffered. They were raped by multiple perpetrators. They were trafficked to other towns and cities in the north of England. They were abducted, beaten, and intimidated. There were examples of children being doused with petrol and threatened with being set alight. They were threatened with guns, made to witness brutally violent rapes, and threatened they would be the next if they told anyone. Girls as young as 11 were raped by large numbers of male perpetrators. The detail of this information and the 15 pen pictures of exploited children, which we include in Chapter 5 of the report, were all taken from official records, files, and minutes. And we could have described many other children whose experiences were just as awful.
On what had happened to these girls, which if you know more secret sources, Shazia Hobbs know more. I'm just going to read this. This is a page, a photograph taken of a page, and it says, "With a wide grin of excitement, he pushed me down on the bed, tore my pants down, and pulled my legs apart. I was filled with terror as he forced the rough, bristled brush inside me, tearing my skin to shreds as he pushed it in and out, up and down, round and round. At this, I screamed out in agony. I couldn't help it. The pain was excruciating. 'Shut the fuck up,' he yelled. 'Stop, please stop. You're enjoying this, aren't you?' he jeered, relishing my pain. 'This is an Englishman inside you.' But I couldn't speak. I couldn't think. Terrified of the damage he had caused me, I feared every slightest new move of the brush. With one sudden jerk, he tore the brush right out of me. I almost fainted from pain. 'You're now mine,' he snarled. 'You'll do what I say.' I was in cold shock. 'Won't you?' he shouted, holding the brush near me again, while his eyes lit up at the sight of my fresh red blood running out. 'Yes,' I sobbed, barely able to hear my voice. It seemed to please him. 'Turn over, white bitch,' he ordered me, and stood back to watch my discomfort. It gets worse. It gets worse than that. Now, this is liberalism. This is where liberalism takes us. You can say, "Oh, well, you're this far-right fascist." My ideals would never result in that. And this is going on every day across this fucking country.
So surrounded by these foreign faces, other races, less white spaces, diversity in all the workplaces, going nowhere, foreign warfare. Too few fear them filling up our nations, TV stations, pushing invasions. Your resistance is a racist statement, face debasement, then replacement. And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad, to think that my own mommy is my fat transvestite dad, and the media is lying that you're wicked in my skin. So I'm gazing out and sighing at so many Mexicans. Children born into a third world future, dying birth rates, dying birthdays. White girls trade them for working computers, just commuters, just school to learn that I was evil. Against the masses, harass the lasses. Why is my teacher call these strangers peaceful? Whites are fascist, past my classes. And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad, to think that my own mommy is my fat transvestite dad. And the media is lying that you're wicked in white skin. So I'm gazing out and sighing.
Can you tell me how old you are, please?
14.
And you go to a local school?
Yeah.
Have you lived in this area all your life?
Yeah.
You're having problems at school. Can you just elaborate on the kind of problems that you're having?
Asian boys coming up to me and saying, I'm going to rape you. And if you don't go with me, I'm going to punch you in the face with a knuckle duster. And if you don't, give me a blowjob.
And this is happening at the school to several girls, is it? It's not an individual case?
No, it's happening to lots of girls.
Do you think the teachers and the authorities are aware of this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably aware that the Edge of the City programme focused on young girls like yourself who are being targeted by Asians to be groomed in this particular area. Do you think that was an accurate description of what is happening?
Yes.
Have you contacted the police regarding them threatening to rape you?
Yeah.
And what's the police response has been?
They said that they're going to look into it.
And that is it?
Yeah.
What's your teacher's response been?
Pupils are going to get excluded for 15 school days.
Right, and that is it?
Yeah.
There's also the accusation that young Asian males are hanging outside schools in flash cars, basically intimidating young girls like yourself with threats. Is that the case?
Yeah.
And this is happening, what, once a week, twice a week?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
And the authorities know it's happening, but they're not doing anything about it? How do you feel when you're targeted by these people?
I feel intimidated by them and scared.
Is a liberal sanction, third world nation in the making, reaching for all kinds of reparations, subject to exploitation, and the best of us are all deplatformed. Goodbye, freedom of expression. Hide my head, I need to feed my family in this dire age of iron. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad, 'cause 2 + 2 is 4, but everyone thinks I've gone mad. I find it hard to function, it's the world that's gone insane, but I will stay awake to fight the nightmare that is found world. I won't say I'm sorry for my people, my ancestors, my descendants.
really bad experience with the police. They treated me like I was a naughty child. I was the problem. And basically I just need to sort myself out, and if I sort myself out, all these problems will just go away. They treated me as though I was a liar. I've got my video interviews, what I did back then, and I was a child. I was 13 years old on one and I was 14 years old on the other, and I was sat describing being sexually assaulted and sold on my video interviews, and they were interrogating me more than they would if I would have been a criminal and actually committed a crime and I was an abused child. And it's disgusting to watch. I'd saved all my clothes that I'd been sexually assaulted in, and you could quite clearly see I'd been sexually assaulted in these clothes. I gave them as evidence, and they actually lost them. So there was no evidence. It was my word against theirs. And I wasn't what the police call a reliable witness. You know, I wouldn't do very well in court because I could be aggressive and I wasn't always helpful. So basically there was no chance of a conviction.
Are you still hopeful that you will get justice, that your perpetrators will be sentenced and jailed?
Yeah, I am. And not just, I don't think so much for what they've done to me, but just for the simple reason I feel that these people shouldn't be out on the streets. They're a danger to the public, and whilever they're walking about, people aren't safe.
Lonely children, broken homes, media brainwashing sets the tone. The vulnerable walk the cold English streets, where the predators wait for their prey to eat. The pale skin of prey, like a glowing charm, to the predator a twinkling treasure to farm. To the media a pasty pest to ignore. To authority a trashy self-inflicting whore. So walk England's flowers through the streets, little lost souls crossing where the predators meet. And the beasts do smile and try to befriend, because the weak know no better, not knowing they pretend. And like a trap for an animal to capture and use, the precious little flowers are trapped and abused. Innocence lost in an instant of time, as they fill her with chemicals and toxic wine. She stares to the ceiling, rotting above her head, and the predators defile her on a filthy bed. Each beast attacks one after the other. Friends, fathers and uncles, a community of brothers. With every touch upon this girl, her heart breaks once more. Each petal of innocence from this flower drops to the dirty floor. A lonely heart, a lost soul, never to be the same. For the predators of the dark moon once again came. A ruined life, a dying flower, no petals to be replaced, because nobody would listen to what she had faced. For the pale skin of prey, and innocence of child, was worthless as a war cry predators mustn't be riled. To the media, the victim is a pest to ignore. To authority, a child prostitute, a self-inflicting whore. To the victim herself, a frightened, crushed soul defiled, having relentless nightmares of the violence as her predators smiled. And so the struggle to live becomes harder every day. So she fills herself with toxic drugs just to take the pain away. In an instant, a life destroyed, just so evil could play. And it happens again and again, because people dare not say. Lonely children, broken families. We were never so weak until the predators roamed free and the people would not speak.
Yes, we want to be free, live our lives as they should be. Here's the thing, while that's nice, every action has a price. We're meant to be much more than this, and find a home which we all miss. So it's time to grow up as we're ticking down the clock. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure.
Well guys, what can I say? Very emotive stuff for sure. I'm not expecting this one to get many views. I'm sure most of you are already aware of the full scale of this horror and just how complicit the establishment were, and I'm sure still are, in covering it up. It might be worth though sharing this with some of your normie friends, might wake them up a bit. It certainly got me fired up when I first became aware of what was going on. That was nearly 2 years ago now. I got so riled up, in fact, I even got myself suspended from work over some silly Facebook nonsense. It sorted itself out just fine in the end, but that was the start of my political journey, and although I'm sure most of you already know the full scale of all of this, it is something I feel I just had to get off my chest once and for all. This whole disc community and demographics and all the other stuff as well, it feels now like I believe in something far bigger than myself, too important to just ignore. So here's another little contribution to our nationalist community, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it might get a wider audience as well. Although for that to happen, I need your help. Share the link for this video in those Twitter and YouTube comment threads, and share it, and let's try and get it out to some of those Tommy Robinson supporters as well, so that they know we care about this issue as much as they do. I've still got a bit more I want to say about all of this, but I've decided to split it into 2 parts because I think otherwise this video is just going to be a bit too long. In the next part, we're going to look into the Tommy Robinson movement and some other stuff as well. So keep an eye out for that. I'll try and get it out as soon as I can. Please sign this petition because it's just more cover up. That's all it is. They're still not letting the truth get out there. They are covering it up still. So the link's in the description. Please sign this petition. As always guys, thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And before you put on whatever you're going to watch next, have a look at my featured channels. These exceptional people have all gradually opened my eyes up to how deep that rabbit hole goes, to all that stuff that the mainstream media just won't ever go near. I feature a lot of channels, so many patriotic voices there, the intellectual heartbeat of our movement. Some more intellectual than others perhaps, but all of them are our people with us 100%. So every channel featured is definitely worth subscribing to. I'm constantly reviewing what channels I feature, and I'm confident there'll be some quality new finds there for you. If patriotic nationalism is new to you and you don't want to subscribe to that many channels all in one go, then some good ones to start with are Laura Towler, daughter of Albion, the Iconoclast, Way of the World, and I suggest perhaps Horus as well. And lastly, guys, until the next time, never forget, demographics is destiny. Europe is falling. We must not be replaced.